Hi, hello to the side and back. My name is Toki Uzuru, aka Toki, and in today's video, I am going to be talking about how I personally found out which clairsentience I was able to tap into a bit more than others. Let's start with some housekeeping rules. Don't know why I call it that. One, if you do not know what I'm talking about when I say clairsenses, there's a video right there. In said video, there's also a different link to a full disclaimer video that talks about health over spirituality, and I will stick to that. Two, this video essentially is just me being very selfish by talking about my personal experiences with the clairsenses. However, I am dressing this video as how you can tell which sense you have. So it's not just a selfish video, it's a selfish and yet informative video. And before we get into the rest of the video, like, share, subscribe if you want to go ahead and see more, if you like the video, and if you want other people to see it. Now, the only rule that I will be putting for finding which clairsense you have is that it has to be a paranormal behavioral pattern, meaning it has to be something that happens often, a lot, and over the course of some, or like every time you come to this situation. It can't be explained away by coincidences, health conditions, or pretty much anything else that can disprove it being a paranormal thing. And now that we got all of the house rules out of the way, we can get to the meat and potatoes of this video. So while I was filming the introduction to the clairsenses video, I kept on noticing more and more signs or symptoms of me having other clairsenses that wasn't just clairaudience. Before I filmed the video, I thought that I was just clairaudient. After personally going through the list of all of the symptoms for all of the clairsenses, I realized I only show 2 symptoms or signs of being clairaudient. And this is what I meant when I said paranormal behavioral patterns. So it's not clairaudience, or it couldn't have been clairaudience. Then what is it? I believe clairsentience, and here's why. Even from when I was a little baby, I was very particular on the people that were around me. There would be small signs that I would end up giving if I didn't like a particular person. And depending on who is with me at that moment, typically my mom, they would pick up on those particular signs that I wasn't okay with the person that I was around. You could say I was a picky child, both with food and with just being around certain types of people. But this pickiness just wasn't with like friends of family members or family members in general. No, this trickled down to when I started going to school and I started making friends with other classmates of mine, or just people that were going to the same school. Because anytime I got to a new school, the following sequence would happen. Step 1, I am the dangerous, quiet girl in the class, and pretty much no one wanted to go ahead and talk to me. Didn't understand why, until I would end up meeting this one person that does. Sometimes it's not just one person, sometimes it's like a small handful or group of people that does want to talk to me. And I go ahead and talk to them, and I end up getting a feeling of, oh, I can go ahead and be comfortable around these people. Or, oh, I cannot be comfortable around these people. And at that moment, I didn't really understand what was going on, but I also wasn't thinking about trying to understand what was going on, because it just happened. And I never really thought about it. I allowed my instincts, my intuition to guide me to people that I would have been able to trust as friends, and to steer away from people that I couldn't have trusted as a friend. And that is not to say that I just decided to ignore everyone I couldn't trust, because I would still talk to them. I would still go ahead and answer questions if they had any questions, or continue a conversation that they started. And this is what I meant by paranormal behavioral patterns. Because I didn't realize that I was just using my intuition. But going on to something else that I had to deal with, anytime I went into a house, there will always be a different type of energy in said house. And I was able to use that energy from the different places, whether it be to figure out whether I should be in that place in the first place, or whether it's like, you might not want to stay here. And that actually goes into the Poe House story. The short version of the Poe House story is my mom decided to take me and my siblings over to the Edgar Allan Poe House in Baltimore. And although it was definitely a learning experience, I ended up touching a window frame and got absolutely, I don't want to say demolished, wrecked by the amount of negativity that just touching said window frame opened up for me. It felt like I was being suffocated, if that's what's going to help you understand. And it took a few days, probably like about a week, for me to be able to feel comfortable again after it happened. So even though I have like a lot of symptoms and signs of being clairsentient, that is not to say that I didn't show other signs and symptoms of being the other clairsenses. According to the information from the introduction of clairsenses video, the only clairsense that I did not have a sign or symptom from was claircognizant. And that's because I might have had like little moments, but they weren't consistent behavioral patterns that just seemed paranormal or couldn't have been explained away. Like with clairvoyancy, I kept on getting very visual and vivid dreams. Most of the time they would be nightmares. Or with clairalience, where specifically the scent of honeysuckle just brings back memories of me being in third grade, bolting over to the other side of the field to go ahead and pick off honeysuckles. Or the Suicide Squad story, in which I went to go see the movie, and anytime the Joker came on screen, there was this strange smell. I don't know, it was a manly smell. That's the only way I would be able to describe it. And it's not that I hated it. It's not that type of strange. But then we get back to clairaudience. I've found out through experimentation of my own that I'm more emotionally connected to sounds, specifically music and people's voices. I will be able to recognize a voice before I'm able to recognize exactly where I remember it from. But there was also the fact that I had a very vivid imagination and often talked to like my imaginary friends as a child. Actually, I think that only stopped around 2016 for me. So I guess the end all be all of this video is, although you may show some signs or symptoms of having other different clairsenses, it is typically the one where you have the most signs that you should be more focused on. With all that being said though, you can develop all of your clairsenses to be as strong as the one with the most signs and symptoms. However, that's going to be completely up to you if you want to do it, and I should probably make another video of how you can protect yourself psychically. And as I said before, with all of that being said, it is time for me to do the stereotypical YouTuber outro, where I, as a stereotypical YouTuber, would ask you to do the following. Yes, I did ask most of these at the beginning of the video, but YouTube has suggested doing it twice, or doing it before, like in the middle of the video. So there you go. If you like the video, you can go ahead and press the like button. If you want to see more videos where I talk about the psychic, the paranormal, the mystical, the magical, or anything that happens to deal with the nature-based spiritual path, otherwise known as witchcraft, you can go ahead and press the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified of when I post. I am literally doing the choir holding hand thing so I can remember to breathe. Any type of questions, comments, concerns, or ideas for future videos can be put into the comment section below. And with all of that done, my name is Toki Uzuru, aka Toki, and this is Toki saying Toki out.